Hello, 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 I am Jim Bob and welcome to this first look at the Long Island Railroad DLC. Can everybody hear me okay, first of all? This is the first time I've tried streaming on my new profile. I just want to make sure everything's set up. So just let me know in the comments if you can hear what I'm saying. Okay, good stuff. Right, so let's take a look at the Long Island Railroad. I've actually been really looking forward to this as soon as it was announced. This looks like it could be quite an in-depth route for us to have a run on. So, and you can see the description there. Experience America's busiest commuter railroad and all the bustle and challenges of railroading in New York City in Train Sim World Long Island Railroad. The famous LIRR operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and carries more than 350,000 commuters each weekday. And you'll take control of the railroad's most modern LIRR M7 EMUs through America's busiest rail junction at Jamaica. So just the one train to drive, I believe. Let's just take a quick look at services. Yeah, just the one train here, which is the M7. It's a very nice little loco. I have had a quick play on one of the DLC tutorials for this, just to have a little wander around, and it does look very, very nice. As far as tutorials go, there is just one introduction, but it's actually a little bit more in-depth than we're used to seeing. So let's jump in and take a look at the introduction to the M7 EMU. And there you can see the route plan we have in terms of collectibles. Quite a few, as you can see there. Lots and lots of different collectibles. 20 of a couple of different types, 25 of another one, I think 30 of another one there. So 4 different sets of collectibles dotted throughout the entire route.
Welcome to this M7 electric multiple unit in Long Island Railroad livery. During this brief introduction, we will go through the startup, stopping, and passenger door operations. A lot of time will be spent in the engineer's seat, so climb aboard to get started.
And here it is. This is the M7. Wonderfully recreated. Looks very, very nice. Very, very swanky. Lots of seats. They really do cram them in these trains here. Let's have a quick look at the comments, see who's around. We've got Wyatt Games, Arthur Homer, Martin, Corey, Adrian, Silver Defender. RV is there as well. Nice to see you guys. Let's have a look at some of your questions. How long has this game been out for on PS4? Well, the game has been out for a good 2 or 3 months now, but this DLC has been out for just a few days. I think it came out on Tuesday on PS4. It's been out for a week longer than that on PC. So let's jump in and take a look. You can see the cabin door is kind of already open. We close that. Here's our seat, just here. And just have a look at this. Isn't this cool? We've actually got a little door on the exit to the front of the train here. It's kind of nice. Just some interesting little details in here. And here's our control booth.
The master key is used to activate the control desk. The reverser determines the direction of travel.
So, pretty basic stuff, as we used to see on these tutorials, but it's a little bit more in depth.
This unit has a combined throttle brake handle, which needs to be set before beginning the startup procedure.
So So we need to set the controller to max brake.
Before powering up the unit, the brakes need to be charged to a safe level.
So now we need to charge the brakes. You can see the gauge just below the button going up. We need to get to 90 psi.
Lights are important to let others around know that this unit is active.
Let's set the lights to bright.
To unlock the doors, a key must be inserted into the corresponding door control panel and then set to doors comms.
A bit more interesting. So we have to actually move over here. And if we want to do the doors, we have to put a key in first of all. A little bit funky.
Increase the master controller to start moving. Be careful not to apply too much power too quickly, otherwise you might damage the couplings or upset the passengers.
So let's apply a little bit of throttle. I do love the digital displays that we have on here. You can see the way that they change as we do different functions. This is a very nice little cab to be sat in. Let's just give it a little bit more power. Martin asks if I've been practicing. I have actually been playing this a little bit on this profile, this new profile of mine, just to kind of get used to it. Right, so now we need to push up to 25 miles an hour, so let's put the beams on a little bit more.
Coasting is a method. We will be stopping at Country Life Press a little further up the line and performing another passenger loading procedure.
So again, it's giving us some prompts and instructions on how we can do different things, including changing the cameras. We're going to stick in cab for now.
We're on our final approach to Country Life Press.
Gradually start to bleed off some of that speed. Hi Oscar, welcome to the stream. RV asks, are there any external camera views? Yes there are, and we'll have a look at those in a moment. I just want to get this little mini tutorial bit done first. We'll be running externally on one of the routes that we take. We'll do one of the scenarios. So we just coast in to the end of the platform. Let's give it just a little bit of juice. We're still actually losing speed. It's because we're on an uphill gradient, that's why, so let's put a little bit of power in. Welcome Simon. Go. Just bring the train to a bit of a stop, and I'm going to actually put the brakes on quite strong because we are on an uphill gradient.
Like before, open the doors to allow passenger boarding to commence.
So, once again, we need to put a key in and then turn the key. The doors are open, people are getting in. That's very cool. I must say, it's very different having to actually use a key before we can do the door controls. And what's going to force us to be a bit more in cab, I think, when we're running this train, depending on how far apart the stations are. There we go, and it's giving us the option again. We can use the dispatch menu like this to lock the doors, or we can press the button. We'll press the button. Turn the key. And take the key out. There we go, and we are ready.
Now, take what you've learned and put it into practice. Complete the next stop at Garden City on your own.
So we need to go to the next station. Not sure how far ahead that is, but let's put a little bit of power onto the train. And let's go external for this one. It's a hell of a long train that we're driving, isn't it? Look at this. Ah, wow, that's a long one. And we've got American traffic as well, as you'd expect, considering we're in New York. Set controls for the departure to next station. We haven't done something, apparently. Let's pop back in and have a look. Oh, we haven't put enough power on. There we go. So 990 odd yards to the next station. We are going a little bit fast. Let's slow down a touch. And it's important to say, as with all of the previous DLCs, this is not a cheap expansion. This is $24.99 in UK currency, so expect to pay $30 in America. But this looks as though it's probably going to be one of the most in-depth expansions that we've seen in terms of, you know, the route itself. Only the one train to drive, but it's a hell of a train. And there are many, many stations on this route. I've only had a very brief glimpse. This is about as far as my first look, you know, has been previously. So this is all new to me as well. What great sights we're going to see, but I do love the train itself. It is very, very nice. And it's such a nice train to drive internally as well. This tiny little kind of view box in here. Your Trash My Treasure asks, is this game worth getting on PS4? Well, it depends, really. Is the honest answer. You have to have an interest in this type of simulator. If you want this as a casual observer, then you're probably not going to get your money's worth out of this game. It is very much a niche title. You need to have a definite interest in driving the trains, because it is an expensive game. You know, the base game will give you 3 packs. We'll give you the Great Western Pack, the NEC America route, and the S-Bahn in Germany as well, in Leipzig. And then beyond that, there are some DLC expansions, but the expansions are pretty pricey. We've had the West Country Somerset, the West Somerset Railway Heritage Pack. Not a cheap pack at all. Oh, apparently I can just do this like this now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's good. Means we can stay external. But yeah, we've had the West Country, the West Somerset Railway pack. That was, I think, £20, £25. We've also had the Ruis Ignored pack, which was a great pack, but again, 25 quid, so $30. Not a cheap expansion at all. And it's the same with this one, £25, so around $30
Good work.
For the expansion.
That's the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this train.
And there we go, that is the tutorial itself completed. I got my first trophy for this DLC, the M7 Junior Operator Trophy. So you have to have, an interest, as just a casual observer goes, oh, I might give that a try. If you've never had any real desire to play a game like this, you're probably, unless you like simulators and you like hardcore simulators, you're probably not going to enjoy this game. It is very much a niche title, but if you are into that kind of game, you'll have a lot of fun with it. So let's take a look at the scenarios. We'll pick one or two of those and see which one we want to do. Martin asks, will I be getting Truck Driver when it comes out? Yes, I will. And hopefully we will actually be getting a release date on that very, very soon. Zedesco have recently announced their gameplay trailer goes live on the 6th of December at 12:30 European time. So that'll be 1:30 UK time, and then either 6:30 or 9:30 depending on the coast you're on in America. Actually, no, it won't be 6:30 or 9:30 because they're 5 hours the other way. So it'll be 6:30 AM or 3:30 AM depending on the coast that you're on. I think. No, 8:30. 8:30 and 4:30 in the AM on the 6th of December. That'll be when the gameplay trailer for Truck Driver drops. And hopefully we'll get a release date as part of the reveal of that trailer. We'll have to wait and see. Right, scenarios. Let's take a look and see what we have. We have Change at Jamaica. That's a 45-minute mission. Suburban Sunset, Race Day Run, Kings and Queens, and Maintenance Maneuver. So they are the scenarios we have. I kind of like the idea of this one, Kings and Queens. So let's take this one here. The line to West Hempstead has been closed at Locust Manor for engineering works. Driver service from Atlantic Terminal to Jamaica, then return to Atlantic Terminal. Okay. There we go. This could be quite a lot of fun, this route. Welcome to Atlantic Terminal. We're assigned to the 1228 to West Hempstead. Maybe it's 1228. Yeah, it'll be the 1228. The time, not the number. Engineering work at Locust Manor means this service is only running as far as Jamaica. I think this could be our train coming in here, perhaps. Being a quick run, you're only afforded a short turnaround at Jamaica before coming back to Atlantic Terminal. So it looks like we're going to have to be on the ball for this one, which means we're probably going to end up running late. Let's see, we're on the wrong platform for starters. That's our train there, this one on that platform there. So we need to make our way over there nice and quick. And we can't go upstairs. Okay. Oops. This is not good. There's a ladder. Let's climb up. It's close. There's a subway. Could we have used the subway? Ah, yeah. Under the subway. Ah, that'll be one of the collectibles. There we go. So, let's get on the train. Oh, the picture's going all fuzzy. I'll keep an eye on it. If it gets worse, let me know, and we'll restart the stream, and I'll switch over to my mobile. Right, so we need to set the train up. Let's see. We need lights. We need master key on. Reverser and forward. Oh, no, not max power. Max brake. Need to charge the brakes. This is unusual. We don't usually have to go through the full startup procedure when we take over a mission like this. There we go. Let's use quick load. Put the in-game volume a little bit lower. Okay, we can do that. As I said, I haven't done any streaming on this profile before, so let's see. Where are sounds? Alright, we'll drop the master volume to 65. Let me know if it needs to come down any further than this. So you think truck drivers coming out around March? Well, Sodexo haven't announced a date yet. They did say it was supposed to be out this year. I had a feeling it would probably get pushed back because it's been so late in the announcements, and we still haven't heard anything, but it's still possible it might sneak out before Christmas. We should know more on the 6th. Do we have Steam on FS19? Or have I done a stream on FS19? No, I haven't. At some point I might do. It's just with recording, for this and other games, I don't really get much time for live streaming. So I tend to do them pretty infrequently. And this game is just perfect for live streaming rather than recording footage. Oscar says we need routes on the west coast of America. Well, we need a lot of extra routes, really, but it would be nice if they weren't all so expensive. Farmer Min fan works for Network Rail. Lucky man. It's actually really hard to get a job in the railways, or at least as a train driver. It's really hard in terms of the vacancies don't come up very often, and it takes years of training before you're actually allowed to become a fully qualified train driver. Careful not to speed. We're still in a low speed zone. Just just leave it on coast for a moment until we clear the points. Lewis wants me to do some more city skylines. Well, I am doing my sort of special project, my No Limit City. That's coming out at the moment sort of once a week, whenever I get the chance to kind of have a little tinker and build some stuff in the background. That's a no pressure recording for me. I like to just work on it when I get a bit of downtime, and then put together a little highlight package of what I've put together since the last video. That may possibly become a proper series in the future, but for now it's going to stay maybe once a week or so. Little updates on what I've been doing, around the sort of 20-minute, 30-minute mark. There should be another one out tomorrow, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. And also wants to know, will the Industries DLC for Skylines make its way to console? I don't know. I hope so. But I think if it is going to come, it's going to be a while yet before it does. It's still relatively new to PC. I'm sure there are some bugs that they need to iron out on PC first. And then, taking that out of the equation, we're still waiting for the Green Cities and the Park Life DLC to make their way over from PC first. So it's 3 DLCs away if it is going to come. Right, we are running out of time. We've got to be at Nostrand Avenue at 12:35:30. It's 12:32:30, and we're still in a 5-mile-an-hour zone. Just trying to gradually creep forward the speed a little bit. Oscar says he's been enjoying watching my Railway Empire series. There is a brand new DLC coming for Railway Empire on the 14th, and I cannot wait for that, because that's going to be set in the UK and Ireland, which means we're going to get some really iconic steam trains from this sort of part of the world, including the Rocket, Stephenson's Rocket, the Mallard and the Flying Scotsman. 3 of the most iconic steam trains of all time will be part of that DLC. Comes out on the 14th of December, and you can bet your bottom dollar I will be adding that to the channel. Cannot wait for that expansion to come out. And hopefully that'll be quite cheap as well. All the previous DLCs have been around £6.50, so I'm expecting that one to be priced about the same. Nice little underground route here. Some weird little sound bugs there by the sound of it. Coast along just here. We are on a slight uphill gradient, so I've got to be a little bit careful we don't start bleeding speed too early. Oh, we've got a 30 zone coming up, so let's actually apply a little bit of brakes. Ah, David, welcome to the live stream. I had a feeling you'd be popping in. And we're out into the open. Oh, it looks quite cloudy outside. Oh, it's raining. Ah, look at that. Miserable. I don't actually know where the wiper control is in here yet. I haven't spent enough time in here. Oh, there it is. That's the heater. I thought that was the wiper. It's not. Luckily, I know the keyboard shortcut. I had my USB keyboard right next to me, so I can turn the wipers on that way. Look at that, we're already 30 seconds behind schedule. By the time we get pulled up, we'll be about a minute behind schedule. Not the best of starts. We really did bleed speed. A bit too much coming out of that tunnel. Go. Let's get the doors open. Oh wow, look at the number of people getting off. We normally see nobody using our trains at all. We've got a bit of a weird glitch if they try and get on and off, but it's just nice to see people using the trains. Okay, let's get the doors closed. And away we go. 2.3 miles to the next stop. Try and get a nice screenshot here for the thumbnail, I think. Go. Oh, look at that. We're raised up above the street. Oh, I love that. That's brilliant. Get up to speed and then take another quick glance at comments. Right, so let's see. Would I ever consider doing another prison architect on the psychiatric ward DLC? Possibly, although I did try and incorporate that in my last series and nobody really watched it at all. I would probably, if I was going to do another Prison Architect series, would do it on the escape mode instead. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do that yet. We'll take a re-look at that maybe in the new year. We want to see what's going on with some of the new stuff that's coming out. Don't forget Subnautica is coming out pretty soon as well. And that's something else I want to bring to not be time for Prison Architect this year, but at some point, New Year onwards, we'll revisit that potentially. Silver Defender has been on the Scotsman. Oh, lucky person. I didn't actually realise the Flying Scotsman went on a sort of a run through some of the major stations last year. Actually, it caused one of the... Was it King's Cross or was it Paddington? It might have been Euston, one of those three stations that it turned up in, and it caused the station to be evacuated. All the steam and smoke that was pouring out of it made it almost impossible to see what was going on. And I didn't even know that the service was running because I would have been on it if I'd known. But I didn't actually know it was happening until 2 days after it had run, and I saw the article pop up. on BBC News. I was gutted. And that was last year, I think, or very early this year. We better start slowing down. Definitely better start slowing down. Don't want to overshoot the station. Still. Oh, Paddington. It was Paddington Station, was it? I named just about every station except for Paddington. Went through Nottingham or not on the way to London, but I just didn't know about it until I'd been on one of those journeys. I'd have found a way to get on there. Nice gradual pull away. We've got 5.3 miles to Jamaica. Hopefully we can make a bit of time up here. There we go, let's turn the wiper off. Put the minimum brake on because we are on a 1% downhill gradient here. We're going back underground. Don't want to get the speed up too high. Run the risk of a derailment. Still going a little bit too fast. Need a bit of that speed off. There we go. That should keep us under control. Paul asks, is there another game like Mud Runner that he can buy? Not really on console, no. I mean, there's all sorts of different simulators, but there's nothing really like Mud Runner on console. Kind of unique in that respect, at least in terms of the off-roading element and the realism of that. In terms of delivering logs, well, there's some rather poor forestry simulations out there from UIG that I would definitely not recommend. I would tell you to avoid them like like the plague. And then there's the Farming Simulator franchise where you can do logging in Farming Simulator, so if you like the log aspect, there's those games. But in terms of the off-roading, there's nothing really anything like Mud Runner. Let's crank the speed up. There we go, 70 miles an hour underground. Let's be a bit naughty. Let's break the speed limit and try and pull back some of that time that we've lost. push her up past 70. There's my trophy, the M7, the Cannonball trophy, for hitting 70 miles an hour. It's one at 75. On a slight uphill gradient, so we should bleed that speed off by the time we get towards the station. Yeah, a lot of people have talked well about Microsoft Train Simulator on PC. It's very fondly remembered. I've never played it myself, so I don't know how good it was. I don't know how well this compares to that. I can only play what I've got access to, and that's console stuff. But this is a lot of fun if you like this sort of game. Steep climb coming out here, 1.9% on the uphill there. Easing off a bit now. Oh, we've got a slowdown coming up pretty quickly. Missed that signal point there. Ease the brakes down. We've got 35 mile an hour limit coming up in a little while as well, so we'll keep the brakes on gradually. Nekasans TV wants to know if I know how much the licensing fee for these trains is and if that's why the DLC is so expensive. No idea, and couldn't tell you. That's the sort of question that you have to ask the developers, unfortunately. I think it's partly because of the amount of work that's involved. It's not just the licensing, but it's the the recreation of the routes, getting it all to scale, the amount of time it would take to build that. And they're a small team and a small studio, so it's a lot of work to put one of these packs together. And they need to be compensated for the work that they put in. It's not cheap, and it would be nicer if they were cheaper, but they're not horrifically expensive in the grand scheme of things when you actually look at what you get for compared to the base game. But it would be nicer if they were cheaper. I do agree on that. Go outside of the train for a while, take a quick look at our station. And the length of that train in there, that actually looks really, really nice. That might be the thumbnail there, actually. Gonna have a lot of fun exploring this station on foot. So I can see if I can see any obvious collectible places down there. Oh, this is Jamaica, isn't it? So we need to shut down the cab. Let's get back inside. So master key, can't do that yet. I need to do the reverser. Nope. I need to do the throttle. Put that into emergency, reverse it into neutral. Key out, key off, Marker lights go on. Oh, I just saw wipers. Where did I just see wipers? There we go. Wipers off. Ha! I never expected that. Let's open the door. Head to the other end of the train. Oh, I've got to check. I check every train we get on. Can we get into the toilets? No, we can't. I don't know why I'm so curious as to whether or not we can get into toilet doors, but it's a long old train, look. Lots and lots of carriages. Still not at the other end of the train yet. This is actually one of the units, look. So this would be a driving unit. It's two of these EMUs stuck together. So we actually go through out of one train into another. I suppose I should be closing these doors behind me really, but never mind. Make our way through. Speed up a bit. And here we go. We're at the other end. So, let's sit down. We've got to go through the whole startup procedure again, but at the other end this time. Lights to bright. Key on. Reverser set to forward. Charge the brakes. Passengers are loading. Eric wants to know, what do we actually do? Do we just drive the trains? Essentially, yes. I mean, you can get out and explore on foot and find the collectibles, but this is a train driving simulator, so that's essentially the main bulk of the game, is just driving the trains. There are some scenarios that you can run through, a couple of basic tutorials to give you an introduction to each train, and then a whole list of services on a timetable, and then you can just jump in and run an individual service, or run an entire day's worth, or do whatever you want basically within the constraints of driving the trains. But that is essentially what the game is. It's just a train driving simulator. Yeah, RVD Gym. It's not RV Gym. Sorry, it is not a cheap game. It is going to be quite expensive. It is actually on sale at the moment, or it was. Might possibly just come off sale here in the UK. I'm sure it will pop up on sale in the US at some point over the festive period if you haven't got it yet, or maybe in the New Year sales as well. So if you are interested, don't necessarily buy it full price just yet, because if it isn't on sale now, it may well be very, very soon. It is that time of year when a lot of games do get discounted to try and get people to spend Christmas money, New Year, birthday money, etc. They are running a DLC sale on the PC at the moment. Whether that's going to translate across to all consoles as well or not, I don't know. I was imagining that it was on sale on Xbox around the time it was on sale for PlayStation here in the UK, and I imagine it would be the same in the States when it goes on sale over there as well. Do I play Bops 4? I'm guessing you mean Black Ops. No, I don't. I've kind of moved on from that phase of my life where I played first-person shooters. I used to play Battlefield a lot, and I just kind of started getting really frustrated with online play. I get wound up very easily. Being autistic, it's very hard for me to unwind when I get wound up. So I don't put myself in those stressful kind of multiplayer situations anymore. It's much healthier for me, much more relaxing. My gaming is more to relax now than, you know, be competitive. Nekasan's there talking about the US store has Mud Runner on sale for $14, while we're paying £35 here in the UK. The sales across the different regions don't match up. So while something is discounted in one region, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be discounted in all regions. So something on sale in America will not necessarily, and usually isn't, on sale here in the UK, and vice versa. We've had Mud Runner on sale on a number of occasions here in the UK, and it will pop up again on sale at some point soon as well. I have no doubt of that. So, you know, again, if you're thinking about picking it up, you know, as with most games, around this time of year, it's always a good idea to wait and see what comes up. We're going to get new discounted games every weekend in the run-up to Christmas on the PlayStation Store here in the UK. I'd imagine there is some kind of sale going on in the States over the Christmas period. And then there'll be the Boxing Day sales, and then there'll be the New Year sales, and then there'll probably be a big sale in February as well. So the next couple of months there's going to be sales popping up all over the place. And if the game you want isn't on sale now, it probably will be pretty soon. So we're running back to East New York. We've got to get there at 12:57. Oh wow, we're still a mile and a half out and we're already a minute behind schedule. So that's not a great start in some respects. We have to be a little bit naughty and speed our way through, I think, to try and claw back some of this time. We took too long, basically, to get from one end of the train to the other. In the short turnaround here at Jamaica. We're going way too fast, aren't we? Martin asks, what is my honest opinion on FS19? I'm enjoying it. You know, I wasn't given a free copy by Giants. Giants don't even know I exist. When I did email them about potentially getting an advanced copy to put it on the channel for you guys, they didn't even respond to my email. I'm not even a blip on their radar. So that game was paid for with real cash, real money, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, yes, it has bugs, it has niggles. Every game that comes out these days has bugs and niggles at launch, and while some of them are a little frustrating, others are minor little things, and I'm sure they'll be patched out pretty soon. FS17 had a lot of bugs at launch as well, and when you compare the base game of Farming Sim 19 to the base game of Farming Sim 17, there is a big step forward. However, nobody does that anymore. Everyone's, you know, comparing Farming Sim 19 at launch with bugs and no mods to a 2-year version of Farming Simulator 17 that had a ton of mod support, and it's not a straight comparison, it's not a fair comparison. And a lot of people just don't seem to take that into consideration. They go, oh, 17 was way better. Well, 17 had been out for 2 years and had all those little problems ironed out. Because there were problems with 17 when that came out, trust me. And then it had all those wonderful mods that we were given access to, including Seasons, which completely revolutionised the game. Well, all those mods will start to make their appearances again in Farming Sim 19, and all those little niggles that we have right now, some of them worse than others, but some of them minor little inconveniences that don't really affect the gameplay, they'll be patched out. Seasons is being worked on for Farming Sim 19 as we speak by Realismus Modding. So, you know, maybe the game isn't perfect right now, but it's not too far off being, you know, a great game. And for what it is at the moment, I'm really enjoying it. There are things that frustrate me, but there are things that frustrate me in every game I play. And, you know, 19 is no exception to that. But I'm not in any, you know, immediate rush to throw 19 aside for the next couple of months and go rushing back to 17. I'm having enough fun on 19 to carry on that and just wait for those improvements to come in. There's still so much of the game that I haven't really taken full advantage of yet, and I think there's a lot that a lot of people haven't taken advantage of. They've taken a quick look and gone, ooh, don't like this, and just put it down straight away. A lot of people have been too quick to pass judgment. RV says, I've read somewhere that changes the base game from 19 is making things more difficult for the modders. Don't know if it's making things more difficult for the modders in some respects. I mean, I did see a post by Bullet Bill about map textures, which means that, you know, he tried to convert Lone Oak and the results weren't as expected because of the changes that they've made to the editing system. I don't know about models, you know, in terms of vehicles and equipment. I don't know how that's going to work out. We are going to start seeing some mods soon, and we just have to wait and see how they perform and how they look when they come out, I suppose, before we really do, you know, see any real kind of improvements or differences. And there isn't a lot of information out there at the moment. There's little bits here and there on the forums. But there's not a huge wealth of feedback on the forums yet. So again, it's a little early to say either way as to the exact situation. Tiny's popped into chat. How you doing, Tiny? Do I know of any flight sims on PS4? There are a couple. There's one that's really, really bad. And I think there are a couple more on the way. And then it depends. If you want like regular planes, then you know, there's not really a lot of choice out there. If you just want any kind of flight, then you have got Elite Dangerous. That's actually pretty good. You know, for a space flight simulator. Beyond that, I don't really know. I mean, just take a look into the simulation genre on the PlayStation Store, and it'll show you all the different simulators that are available, and any flight sims will show up in that category. That's the easiest thing I can suggest. Oh, bugger. We've got a station coming up. Max brakes, come on. We can make this, I hope. Come on, stop. Ooh, look at that. Just about made it. That's me too busy reading comments and not paying attention to the track in front of me. Alpha Rod, how you doing, my friend? It's been a while since I've seen you. Alright, so we have just under 4 minutes to get to Atlantic Terminal. We might have to be a little bit naughty on the speed again. Going to coast and let the gradient pick up a little bit of extra speed for us. Let's see, we've got any in-cab lights that we can mess around with in here. Desk light brightness. Let's turn that on. Ooh, look at that. It's on a slider. Add some light into the area in here. Very nice. Cab lights, turn those on. Even better. More lights. Very clearly see where we're going now. See all my controls. For us to start slowing down just a little bit. Actually a bit faster than a little bit. We're coming up to a 5 mile an hour zone and there is a risk that we will get derailed. We're going a little bit faster than 5 miles an hour. Possibly. Gotta be careful. Do not want to derail the train. Alright, forward lights on. Lights. It's always a bit dark. How did I manage to get going without the lights on? Well, look at that, we've made up the time, just about. We needed to get back here by 13:10, and by being a little naughty on the speed, we have made it back here at 13:09 and 30 seconds, so yeah. We actually managed to recover this one quite nicely. Just coast our way into our final stop. Have I ever derailed a train on this game? Not going over points, but I did go into one of the stations at Reading a little bit too hard, and hit. No, it wasn't Reading. It was Paddington, and I hit the bumpers at the end of the line, and it bounced the train off. I couldn't slow down in time, and I literally bounced the train off the line at the very end. of like an hour-long run that I've been on. That was a bit gutting, because that was an instant fail. Gradually bring the train to a halt. There we go, and get the doors open. Let's turn the wipers off as well. And this should end the scenario, I believe. There we go, objective complete. Well done for completing this duty. Secure the train and head over to the main concourse. Okay, it doesn't look as though we have anything that we need to actually turn off. Oh no, wait, we do. Marker lights on. Lights off. Let's do the master key. Can't do that yet. Into emergency. Reverser to key out. Key off. And climb out the train. Oh, there'll be a collectible for us, look. Ta-da! There we go, objective complete. So how did we do? Oh, look at that, we got green ticks all the way across the board. Nice. Do I think PS4 is the best console? Out of what selection? Out of a standard PS4 and a PS4 Pro? Yes. Beyond that, I can only say on paper it's better than everything except the Xbox One X on paper. I can't say whether it's like as an actual usable thing because I only own a PS4 and a PS4 Pro. I've never owned an Xbox One. I've never owned an Xbox One X or an S. So I can't give you a definitive hands-on comparison. Right, so let's see what is next. Let's go back to the scenario list. And see what scenarios we've got to choose from now. So we've done Kings and Queens. Race day run could be interesting. That looks quite tricky actually. It's 4 blocks out of 5 on that one. So it's maintenance manoeuvre. Let's go for a 3 block. Let's go Suburban Sunset. Hopefully this will be out in the open and not in the tunnels. Operate a local service on the final leg from Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. Ah, yes. This sounds like it could be a lot of fun. While we're waiting, don't forget you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/JimBobPlaysGames. You can also find me on Twitter at JBPG_JimBob. And we're in Hicksville, For this shift, we'll be completing the final leg for a train to New York Penn. So, where's our train? Are we waiting for it to arrive? Or is that it there? I think that's our train. Well, it might be this one. I think it's going to be this one. Yes, it's this one. I had a feeling it was. Oh, wrong door. There we go. So, I've got to go through the usual startup procedure. We'll start with getting the lights to bright. Turn the key on. Reverser to forward. And charge the brakes. We need to get the doors open. There we go. Michael's in the chat. How you doing, Michael? Who else is in as well? Oh, Ella's popped in. Good to see you, Ella. Bus Sim is coming next year. Not sure exactly when. Astragon haven't given us a release date yet, but it is coming. Truck Driver is also coming. Maybe, possibly, this year. It's looking more likely it's going to be next year, but there is an announcement. Well, I say an announcement. There is a gameplay trailer going live on Sodesco's YouTube channel in a few days' time on December the 6th, and hopefully at the end of that trailer we'll have a release date. So I'll be definitely watching that trailer to find out a little bit more information and see a little bit more of the game as well. I've only really seen a little bit of beta footage and some of the Gamescom footage, so it'd be nice to see something a little bit more polished, perhaps. Right, we've got some glorious weather. Let's take a look at the externals. Nice long train again. Look at that. Cracking long train. Quick screenshot of that. That's a nice little shot there. Oh, we can get some power on. Take a look at our surroundings. Nice little warehouse district we've got here. We're going a bit fast. Let's ease the power down to coast. There we go. Mr. Sledge has popped in the chat. How you doing, Mr. Sledge? Martin says, it's great that simulation games are coming to console and it's not just PC users. Yes, I agree. It's great that we are finally getting a nice stream of good quality simulation games. We've had some kind of really bad ones in the past, and not really a good selection at all, good or bad. We're starting to see a lot more making their way across, and the ones that are coming across have generally, in recent times, been very good. Even if they've not been full titles either. Construction Simulator 2 is the console, the console edition is basically a port of the mobile game. It's called Pocket Edition on PC, and that's a fun little game. It's cheap and it plays well. It looks pretty good considering it's a budget title. And I really, oh, hang on, this is a stop. It is. Okay, we're going to miss this one. Oh dear. Damn. It's me too busy glorying at how good the game looks. We've completely missed the station by several hundred yards. Oh, this is not good. Whoopsie daisy indeed, yes. Okay, can I fix this? I think I might have to go back into the cab. I think I might need to reset the brakes. Let's recharge them. Get the pressure back up. And you want the gameplay volume down a little bit. Yeah, I did wonder if it would be a little bit too loud in external. Just done it again with the brakes, haven't I? Yeah, I have. I did wonder if it would be a little bit too loud. Okay, we have brake pressure. There we go. Let's go into the settings. I'm tempted to just hit restart, you know. It would make things a lot easier. Sound. Right, we were at 65. Let's drop it down to 35. Nekasan says it's not my night. This is actually kind of one of the things that my my train sim live streams are kind of famous for, is me overshooting at least one station. So it may not be my night in some respects, but it's also a pretty regular occurrence when I stream this game, is to overshoot something. We do have a we have a red light. We're going to fail this objective because we're going to go through a red light. So there we go. Signal passed at danger. We'll replay the scenario, and I'll have to make sure that I don't make sure I don't miss that station. Pay a little bit more attention. I was too busy marvelling at how good it looked outside and didn't pay attention to the distances. So, welcome back to Hicksville. We're going to try this again. And hopefully we'll make a better of a job of it this time. Well, we can't really make a worse job of it, to be fair. It was pretty poor. wait for the train to roll in. I've been getting question asked repeatedly in the chat if they can add me on PSN. Just going to pause for a second. I'm going to type my PSN user ID in, so if you want to follow me on PSN, you can do. So there we go, that is my PSN address that's just popped up in the chat. If you do want to add me on PlayStation, that's the user ID to go looking for. My old profile, for those of you that have been around on the channel for a little bit longer, that is now a private kind of profile, and I won't be adding anybody on that one. Right, let's go through our startup procedure again. Let's get the key turned on. The reverser to change the brakes to max. There we go. And charge the brakes. Passengers are loading. Let's get the camera set up so we can see what's going on. Grab a nice little screenshot. Let's get those doors closed and get ready to pull away off to our first station. A little bit of time to make up, we're a little slow getting away. Let's increase the power now. I forgot to turn notifications off, so you're going to see some of those black boxes popping up on the screen, I have no doubt. Oh, how's that for a shot with the sun gleaming off the side of the train like that? That's pretty sweet. This time I'm going to pay attention to where the station is so we don't go barreling through it like last time. So, 1.5 miles to Westbury. In fact, this is going to happen a lot, so bear with me 1 second. There we go. I have disabled notifications, so you shouldn't now, from this point onwards, shouldn't see any more of these big black boxes popping up on the screen. It's basically scrambling any incoming notifications I get to protect my privacy. Of course, when I give you my user ID, it doesn't really matter, does it? But it does obviously put those big boxes up, which takes out quite a big chunk of the screen. So we'll get rid of those. And now we need to start slowing down at a pretty decent rate. Don't want to barrel through like last time. I don't think even that's going to be enough to go to 90 max brake. That's better. We actually stopped inside the station this time. Good stuff. Let's get those doors open. Get ready to lock the doors again behind us. It's taken a long time for this train to load up, actually. Almost ready. There we go, lock the doors. And we're off to Carl Place, and we have 1.5 minutes to get there. It's only a mile down the road though, so that's not too far. Let's accelerate quite strongly. What's my favourite DLC so far? In terms of for this, at the moment Rus ignored, but I haven't played enough of Long Island to throw that one into the mix yet. So out of the first two, out of West Somerset and Rus ignored, it's Rus ignored simply because it's a bit more involved. West Somerset is a very nice, peaceful, serene running experience, but you only ever get to go 25 miles an hour. So it's a bit more involved on Rus ignored, and there's a bigger choice of trains to play about with as well. So we do both passenger services and freight services on that one. Need to start slowing down again. Might overshoot this one ever so slightly. Slam on the emergency brake. Yeah, we're going to overshoot. Damn it. Might be able to get away with actually opening the doors on the second part of the train. Yes, I can. Okay, we got away with that one a little bit. So let's unlock the doors, and while that's doing that, let's recharge the brakes, because we just kind of knackered them up a bit. There we go. Martin complaining he hasn't heard the lighter yet. No, I'm just trying to be well behaved. Marcel's popped in. How you doing, Marcel? Marcel is one of my staunchest supporters, and it's always a pleasure to see him pop up in the chat. Right. Let's get the doors ready. There we go. And we're on to Mineola. 18:18 is our suggested arrival time, or scheduled arrival time. We have 2.5 minutes to do 2 miles. I think making that time will be easy. It'll be the stopping at the other end that might be a bit tricky. Welcome to the chat there, James. Nice to see you pop in. Let's get the speed up. As long as I remember to take the speed off again at the other end, we'll be okay. And as you've already seen twice now, that is not a given. I've got a yellow signal coming up, so I'm going to be careful because it means I might have a red at the other end of it. There we go. Let's go into coast. It's level ground all the way along here, which is really nice. Don't have to worry about picking up speed or losing speed when we go into coast mode. I'm actually going to start to bleed the speed just a little bit. A little bit more than that. A little bit more than that. It's amazing how quickly this train doesn't slow down. We're running on schedule. That's good. Let's coast to the end box here. There we go. Beautiful. We stopped pretty much spot on there. Let's see, have a look at the chat. Martin says, you know what's good about your streams, doesn't matter the question, I always answer some YouTubers ignore their audience. Yeah, well, that's the whole point, I think, of a live stream, is to interact with you guys. I mean, if I wanted to just sort of, you know, pick and choose and not really respond to people, I could just record some footage, upload it, and then choose to just ignore the comments as they come in. But, you know, when I do a live stream, you know, you guys are watching along with me. I want you to, I want to be able to interact with you guys. I want to answer your questions and have a chat with you, and all the things that you can't do on a normal video. You can kind of ask questions and then you have to wait sometimes days and days and days for a response. You know, it's nice to have that immediate sort of interaction with you guys on a live stream, so... Are there 2 truck driver games coming, Truck Driver and Truck Sim? I think Truck Sim is PC only. I haven't seen confirmation about Truck Sim coming to consoles, but Truck Driver is definitely coming to consoles. Marcel asks, no episode for FS19 today. Yes, it went live at 6 o'clock, so just under 5 hours ago. YouTube notifications are rubbish though, so it may well be that it hasn't gone through. I do release, at the moment, at any rate, I'm releasing FS19 episodes every day at 6 PM UK time. And I am starting to do some prep work now to start working on a series of tutorials. So if you do have tutorial ideas, then please do stick them in the comments. But stick them in the comments on one of my FS19 videos, because I won't see them long enough to actually write them down here in this chat. No, we're going to miss another station again. Oh, no, 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 no. Ah, damn it. Paying too much attention to the chat. It's your guys' fault that I'm missing these stations. I blame you all. It's nothing to do with my driving whatsoever. Honest. It's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Alright, hopefully we can do the same little trick again and we can still, yes, we can still unload the back half of the train. Oh, and David's happy because I said, God damn it. Yeah, that's another trademark of my live streams. James says, I am a good YouTuber and an excellent gamer. Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. What DLC would I like to see in FS19? What, as an official DLC from Giants? You know, I'm not sure what I would like to see. If there's, in terms of, you know, anything specific, we know that we're going to get a couple of packs up until the summer, if we follow on the same kind of scheduling that we had from FS17. Then we're looking at a pack maybe February time, and then another one probably around sort of May, June time. Oh, I killed the brakes, didn't I? Got to put those back onto max so I can recharge them. So yeah, we're probably looking at a couple of DLCs in the first part of next year. Then around the halfway point, you know, sort of next September, October time, we'll be looking at... Those brakes still aren't fully charged. There they are now. There we go. We'll be looking at the mid-cycle expansion. So last year it was the Platinum Edition. For FS15 it was the Gold Edition for third. But that will be a map plus, you know, probably a new brand. That follows on with what we've seen in 15 and 17. In 15 they brought Rostelmash and Zeta in with the Sosnovka map, and then some other little bits of equipment. And then obviously last time around for 17, the Platinum Edition brought in Stara, was the big brand there, and then, you know, some of the other smaller brands for sugarcane stuff as well. This time around it would be nice if we got class, but I don't think we'll get class. I think as long as we get a good equipment pack that actually brings in some really useful equipment, I'd be happy with that. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we maybe get a John Deere expansion pack at some point further down the line, because there's a lot of equipment that John Deere make that isn't just tractors and combines, and I have to say I was a little surprised that we didn't get anything other than tractors and combines. I thought we might get a baler or a rower or something, a mower set perhaps, you know, maybe even a forage harvester from John Deere on top of, you know, a couple of tractors and a combine or two. And we ended up getting 5 tractors, 2 combines, and that's it. You know, I'm not counting the Gator in that. So very surprised about that. Maybe we'll get a John Deere expansion. What would I like as a DLC? I think a class pack, just to get that extra brand in. A brand that, you know, we do see here in the UK from time to time. That, or just a really useful, you know, equipment pack. I wouldn't mind seeing some more Big Bud stuff making its way across as well. That was a lot of fun. What do I think about the start of streaming on starting to stream on Twitch? I'm happy to just stream on YouTube. Plus, you know, I don't have to have two separate accounts, two separate fan bases. You know, if I stream on YouTube, everybody who's a subscriber gets a notification that I'm going live. It's just easy and hassle free. You know, I'm quite comfortable streaming on YouTube for now. Maybe in the future I'll move over to Twitch, but for now, I'm happy here. Dion wants to know, what do I do besides YouTube? Nothing at the moment. There we go, let's get the train pulled away. Oh, we have 30 seconds to go 1.5 miles. That's not good. Corey's been asking to see the length of the train, so let's very quickly pop that up there. There you go. It's two 4-car DMUs or EMUs all joined together. Alpha Rod asks, what about Follow Me? Well, Follow Me isn't a DLC, it's a mod, which is why I wasn't talking about things like Follow Me or GPS or Courseplay. Now, obviously, those would be brilliant to have. Unlikely they'll come to console without some major input from Giants, because the whole base game code will need to be patched to allow a mod like that to come into console. And even then, it's going to be stripped in terms of its functionality compared to PC, I think. Get through this station and then we'll check the chat again. I don't want to overshoot another station if I can help it. I've done that a little bit too often already. Getting a little bit of slowdown here. Maybe it's because there's another train right alongside us. There we go. If I could take a map from Farming Sim 17 to 19, what would it be and why? Well, everyone knows I loved Lone Oak, and I'd love to see it and see what it looks like, and probably play it privately on 19, but I wouldn't run a series on it because we ran it for 3 years on seasons on 17, so we wouldn't spend that amount of time on it. I'd like to see Oakfield, because I never really got too much time on Oakfield. I certainly didn't do it for the channel. I just played a bit privately and then had to remove it to make space for other stuff because it was a big file. So I wouldn't mind Oakfield making its way across, so I could have another run at that. There's a few maps that I had a lot of fun with. I wouldn't mind seeing I wouldn't mind seeing Altenstein or Baltic Sea or Woodshire, any of those maps that Red Kindsters did. You know, they were all great maps. I'd love to see those make their way across as well. Altenstein in particular, I've got a fondness for that map. I didn't say Culborough Park because I know that one's coming. It's being completely rebuilt from the ground up. So that should be on its way at some point in time. Bullet Bill did make the announcement about that about a month or so ago, maybe a little bit longer, that he was going to do a brand new Cobra Park farm, not just a straight conversion, a completely brand new realisation of that map. Dion asks, how is the City Skylines project going? It's going quite well. Next part of that will be up tomorrow, so you'll be able to check out the recent changes I've made. I do need to spend a bit more time tinkering with the city so I can start recording another part. I just haven't had much time recently, been pretty busy obviously with City Skylines, with Farming Simulator 19. But I will start tinkering away with that again at some point in the near future. Let's get the power up now. We can go up to 80 miles an hour. And we're coming up to Jamaica. We've got 4.4 miles to go and 3.5 minutes to get there. Yeah, we're going to be running late. We're going to be a little bit naughty. We're going to speed to try and make up some of the time that we've lost. Haas has popped in. How you doing, Haas? Let's max this thing out. See if we can get to 100 before we run out of track. There we go, 100 miles an hour. 101. Oh, we're off the speedo. 102. We're off the speedo. $105. We're going way too fast. Let's apply minimum brakes and gradually start bleeding some of that speed away. Especially seeing as we've got a 35 mile an hour zone in 1.7 miles. See, I'll actually put 20% brakes on and start slowing down that way. Don't want to end up with a runaway train. I'm starting to think that's what we might possibly have. We're hardly slowing down at all. Let's apply some more brake. That's a bit better. Oh dear, oh dear. What's the next DLC for City Skylines? I have no idea. You know, if it follows the PC release schedule, then we should be looking at Park Life next, then Green Cities, and then after that it would be the new Industries DLC. But like I say, we're a long way off from those, I think. I do know that Paradox are spending some time working on Surviving Mars. We've had a new kind of content patch go live for the space race, and on top of that there's also been some update patches as well, so they have been working hard on improving Surviving Mars. There's still 2 big bits of DLC that are supposed to be out. I think Space Race is the first one of those. I haven't actually checked. It's something else I might want to bring to the channel properly next year. Oh, we've taken too much speed off. We'll have to speed up again. Can we use window wipers in 19 and indicators and hazards on PS4? Well, apparently the wipers are automatic, but I haven't had any rain yet, so I can't actually verify whether the wipers do actually work on console or not. They did say it wouldn't rain inside the buildings anymore, and again, I haven't had any rain, but I have heard that it does still rain inside buildings, which is disappointing. As for hazards, you can't use hazards, but you can use indicators, just as you could on 17. So that's R1 and either left or right on the D-pad to toggle the indicators. Farmer Minfan says BSM map coming to 19. I do know that they are working on a new version of Valley the Old, not Valley the Old Farm, but sorry, the Old Stream. So that'll be version 3. That'll be kind of cool. Be nice to see if that map is reimagined or if it's the original version or the updated version with the expansion. My favourite was before the expansion. It just felt more like a small map then. It lost a little bit of its charm and its character with that big expansion that it got. Those large fields slapped on the sides. So I'll be curious to see how they reimagine that map. Okay, let's unlock the doors. I need to recharge the brakes just in case we're pulling off again. There we go. Do I know when FS19 console players will get an English map? Whenever it gets passed through testing. Oxygen David is working on stuff. Bullet Bill is working on stuff. I'm sure Alien Jim will try and work on something as well. Beyond that, I don't know if there are any English maps in the pipeline. But it's a question that has no... It's one of those how long is a bit of string questions, you know. It has an end point. We just, you know, without more information, we can't give an answer. So we will get a map. It's just a question of how long it takes, A, to finish it, B, to get it through testing, and C, to get it on the mod hub. And we don't have an answer to it. Welcome, Okan. Right, is this the end of our route? Or are we going to carry on a bit further down the line? Oh, no, we're carrying on. Oh, we're going to Penn Station, aren't we? Yeah, not Jamaica. So I wonder if we're going to start going underground now. Oh, there we go. Penn Station is the next stop. 10 miles away. With speed limited 1856, so we've got 17.5 minutes to get to New York Penn. Looks like we are going to be going underground a lot as well, so we might have to mess around with our lights. Roll the window down. Ah, look at that. All those trains lined up like that. It's pretty cool. And there's us going off into the distance. Right, jump back in so we can see what we're doing. Oh, look at that sunrise or sunset there. I'm going to go back to the external camera again. Oh, no, just threw my reverse it in reverse. Just crashed the train. Nuts. That's not good. Might have to go through the whole restart procedure here. There we go. We're okay. Just threw my reverser into reverse. That was not good. Could have ruined the engine there. Those lines diverging. Sun shining down on the side of our train like that. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Got caution signals, but they are starting to go green. That's good. The wipers, if they do work, Ellis, they are automatic. There is no manual control for wipers. Pete wants to know if this game is any good. If you have an interest in a train driving simulation, then yes, it's very good. If you have no real interest in trains or simulations or train simulations, then I would say don't, because it's only worth playing if you have, or it's not worth buying to play if you don't have that interest, because all you do is kind of just drive the train. That's it. So you have to want to do it. If it's just a casual purchase just to see, well, I might give it a try, I've never played anything like this before, I don't really care that much about trains, it's just something to do, you're not going to get anything out of the game. You have to have some kind of interest or passion for trains or simulators, or both. And if you do, then yes, it's definitely worth getting. I made my passengers spill their tea. This is New York. It'll be, be orange juice, surely. Do I think Farming Sim 19 is more realistic than past Farming Simulator games? Well, I don't have a farming background, so I can't really say definitively yes or no. I think it is. It's trying to change things up a little bit. Visually, it looks nicer. And there's a wider range of equipment. They're adding new processes in with the lime and the weeds. Weeding is definitely adding another level of realism. But without having a proper farming background, I can't say yes, definitively. It seems to be a bit more realistic. is the best I can do. Oh, you're wondering about this particular DLC. Well, this is my first look at this DLC, and I'm liking it so far. You know, it's a very, very pretty route. We've got, you know, a very busy passenger service to run. There's no freight on this. It's the Long Island Railroad, so it's literally just a very, very, very busy commuter service. But there's enough variety on that I can tell so far on the routes, where you've got some over the ground stuff like this, where you're out in the open, multiple tracks, multiple trains whizzing past you. There's some underground stuff as well, when you go kind of into the metro system. The train itself is actually a really nice train to drive. It's really well laid out in here. I am getting a few performance issues though. I'm getting a little bit of slowdown, a little bit of lag. It might be translating on the screen as you're seeing this. Oh, we're actually overtaking this guy. We should be going a bit slower than we are. It's a bit naughty of us. Still, we do need to make up that lost time, so... It's like we're dipping down. 2% gradient. We've got a 30 mile an hour zone coming up now. We're going to have to lose more speed. We may as well just coast along here. Oh, what? I didn't see a red signal. I'm gutted. I wasn't even looking at the red. We had a red signal there. I'm actually watching the replay back, and I can see very clearly on the HUD that there is a red signal, and I just completely ignored that and just saw the speed. Oh dear, never mind. Well, tell you what, we've been streaming for a good couple of hours. Let's call it a day here now. I will be back with some more of this very soon. We might not necessarily do the same scenario. We might try something a little bit different, but we'll end the stream here. This is a nice, good first look, I think. I've enjoyed taking a look at this so far. You know, I think this route has a lot to offer, and I can't wait to do a little bit more of it, and I can't wait to show you a little bit more of it as well. So we'll try and pop up with another live stream in the next few days and do a little bit more of the Long Island Railroad. But as for now, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more gameplay footage on the channel tomorrow.